Hi guys and welcome back to the Mighty Blues. My name is of course Camden and welcome back today to another live stream. We are here, it is Wednesday. We are going to talk about Abdoulaye Doucoure today and exactly what he brings to Everton Football Club. Everton announcing the signing of the French midfielder last night, the third signing of the last 3 or 4 days, obviously coming after Brazilian midfielder Allen and Colombian star James Rodriguez joined Carlo Ancelotti's Everton side, and we're here to talk about exactly what Abdoulaye Doucoure brings to Everton Football Club. A fantastic player, a player that we know Everton have been chasing for quite some time now, heavily linked with them last summer to be that sort of Idrissa Gana Gueye replacement, if you like, but it never quite formulated. We know that Everton submitted a bid last summer which was rejected by Watford, and we ultimately walked away and looked at other options, but Abdoulaye Doucoure is now an Everton player. And one thing that strikes me massively with this deal and, you know, everything over the last sort of week or so regarding the rumours about Abdoulaye Doucoure, and we spoke about him a couple of weeks ago on the live stream and spoke about how there isn't an agreement as of that time with Watford for the player, however the player had agreed a deal in principle in regards to personal terms and he was desperate to come to Everton Football Club. And that's one thing that stood out throughout this entire situation with Abdoulaye Doucoure from the initial links until his announcement yesterday and his first interview with the football club, is that he has seemed absolutely desperate to join Everton Football Club and absolutely desperate to come and play under Carlo Ancelotti. And that is the type of attitude you want at your football club. That's the type of player you want. You want a player who looks at Everton Football Club and says, I want to go there, I don't want to go anywhere else, I don't care who else I'm being linked with, I don't care, you know, whoever wants me, I want to go and play for Everton Football Club. I want to go and play under that manager. And that's the attitude that Abdoulaye Doucoure has had for quite some time. Now, obviously, we were strongly linked with him last summer, like I said. And, he was sort of flirting around the idea at that point. But, you know, we moved on quite quickly and moved to other targets. But as soon as it was rumoured that Everton were interested in the player seemed really keen to sign for the football club. And obviously he spoke last night in his interview, in his first interview with the football club, about how happy he is to sign for the club. And not only that, his stats on the pitch and his performances on the pitch show that he will massively improve Everton Football Club, very similarly to, you know, the other two players who were previously spoken about, Allen and James Rodriguez, who have both also signed over the last couple of days. All three players, including Abdoulaye Doucoure, massively improve Everton Football Club. We'll speak about Doucoure today. He is that presence in the centre of midfield. He's big, he's strong, he's physical, he's not afraid to go near the ball. He's not afraid to pick the ball up, to move with it. He is a big unit in the centre of that park, and he's proven that for Watford. And not only is he that sort of presence, not only will he get about the pitch and pick the ball up and put himself in situations that other players mightn't necessarily want to put themselves in, but he also contributes with goals, he also contributes with assists as well. He gets on the score sheet, which is something that we've all spoken about numerous times before in the past. Everton midfielders don't do enough of that. Everton's midfield don't score enough goals. I think we had 5 goals or something across the entirety of the midfield last season, which is utterly atrocious when you think about, you know, Abdoulaye Doucoure scored 4 goals himself last season and some really crackers, good goals as well. So it's a fantastic signing for Everton Football Club. Obviously the only player out the 3 with any Premier League experience. We know what Abdoulaye Doucoure brings. Really impressed with him every time he's come to Goodison Park with Watford to play against Everton. He's put in a strong, solid performance. He's very physical. He's not afraid to throw a tackle in. He's not afraid to get in people's faces. He's not afraid to let people know that he's there. He isn't afraid to hurt somebody if he has to do it. Ultimately, I think he put a tackle in on Luca Dean, who is his international teammate, very close friends, judging by their social media interactions over the last couple of days. He put a tackle in on Luca Dean in the reverse fixture Everton versus Watford last season, and some Everton players weren't so happy with it. But it shows that even players that he's close with, even players that he might be friends with through international duties or whatever, when he's on that football pitch, his job is to break the play up, his job is to get in people's faces, his job is to dominate, and he's not afraid to do that no matter who he's playing against. So Abdoulaye Doucoure signed last night officially. We knew it was going to happen. He was in the Titanic Hotel having dinner with Carlo Ancelotti and James Rodriguez on Saturday night or Sunday night. It's all a massive blur now. It all happened so quickly. But again, like I said, something that has been a constant factor in all of the players that we've signed so far, and everybody that we seem heavily linked with, is that he expressed a massive interest to want to come and play for the football club. He expressed a massive interest to want to sign for Everton. He was there in the Titanic. He was already signing shirts. He changed his bio, his location bio on Twitter to Liverpool England, 5 or 6 hours before he was announced. He liked the post that Everton put up about Alan San, and he liked the post that Everton put up about Abdoulaye Doucoure. So you could see the pride that he had of signing for Everton Football Club and how much that meant for him. Is that before we'd even officially announced him, before all of the little admin, tasks and admin bits of paperwork were signed completely and sent off, and before it was officially announced, he was desperate to get that announcement out there because he was desperate to join Everton Football Club. He spoke yesterday in his interview with Everton, and he said that Everton has a big history in English football and it is a good club for me to step up in my career. I am very happy now to be an Everton player. I'm very excited for the future. He also said, I've been waiting a long time to come here and now it has happened. I am very happy. I told my agent to focus on Everton. It was the only club I wanted to join. And that is exactly what you want to hear from a new sign. And I don't want any of this bollocks that when we were linked with Pierre-Emile Højbjerg of, well, I desperately want to leave Southampton, but I'd rather go to Tottenham, but I will come to Everton if I have to go to Everton. But if Tottenham are in for me, I'd rather go there. I don't want any of that. As soon as I read that from Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, slightly off topic, I thought, no, don't go anywhere near it. I don't care if Tottenham don't come in for a bid. If this lad's turning around saying, I'd rather go somewhere else, but I will come to you if I absolutely have to, then walk away from it. We want players with the attitude of Abdoulaye Doucoure. We want players who say, as soon as Everton's name was involved in the conversation, that was it. I only ever wanted to go to Everton. I didn't want to go to anybody else. I told my agent to only focus on Everton. We want players with that type of attitude. We want players that not only improve us on the pitch, but their attitude is in the right frame of mind. Their headspace is where we need it to be. Those players that want to come and want to play for Everton Football Club, and Abdoulaye Doucoure very clearly is one of those players. He's shown it in his interviews so far. Like I said, even the little social media bits, like in Everton's posts regarding Alan and James Rodriguez, changing his bio, signing shirts, looking absolutely made up in the Titanic Hotel, and when he was asked to sign shirts, saying, to people he can't wait to join Everton and he's very, very proud. That's the attitude that we need for players coming into the football club, whether they're coming in as big money superstars like James Rodriguez, who are going to bring us so much commercial value and so much marketing wise, or whether they're coming in as players that are going to improve the squad in regards to Alan or Abdoulaye Doucoure, or whether they're just coming in as a backup for, I don't know, right back or left back or a backup goalkeeper. We need that attitude of, as soon as Everton Football Club were interested in me, I wasn't looking anywhere else. I wanted to sign for Everton, and Abdoulaye Doucoure has that attitude, and I was really, really, really happy to see him announced last night, not only because I know that this move means so much to him, and he's desperately wanted to come to Everton Football Club for a long time, but I also think he massively, massively improves us. I think this is the one sign, and to be fair, I think a lot of Evertonians would agree with, obviously with Alan joining and being the player that Carlo Ancelotti's managed previously, and spoke very, very highly about previously, and with the Champions League experience, and obviously, showing that experience and being able to step up in the big games, obviously with James Rodriguez coming in as this big, massive superstar. I think the Abdoulaye Doucoure signing has gone, I don't want to say slightly under the carpet a little bit, but it's had a little bit less attention than the other two signings because of the calibre of those other players that have come into the football club. But realistically, when you sit back and when you think about all three are massively important in terms of improving the squad. All three definitely improve us. But Abdoulaye Doucoure is the one player that 12 months ago I'd have been absolutely ecstatic for Abdoulaye Doucoure to sign for Everton Football Club, because I thought he is exactly what we need in the centre of that midfield. Now, over the last season or so, the 19-20 season, it become quite apparent that we need a lot in the centre of that midfield. We need creativity, which we've brought in with James Rodriguez. We need a little bit of aggression. We need a little bit of, bollocks, let's be perfectly honest. We need somebody with a pair of bollocks in there, which we've brought in Alan, and we need a technically good footballer. I'm not saying the other two aren't technically good, but you know what I mean. We need a technically strong, physical, big footballer who can play football really, really well, but who also dominates the midfield, and who also isn't going to be pushed about, isn't going to be bullied. He'll put his foot in, he'll make a tackle, he'll get about the pitch, also contributes with goals as well. We've needed that, and Abdoulaye Doucoure is that player. So again, like I said, I don't want to say it's gone under the carpet a little bit. I'm happy that, ultimately there was a lot of talk last week, before Alan's announcement on Saturday. There was a lot of talk about a potential triple announcement, and Alan, James and Doucoure being announced all at the same time. I'm happy that didn't happen, because I think then the signing of Doucouré would truly have been swept under the carpet a little bit because the other two would have had the most attention. Whereas, Doucouré being announced on his own, I think he's been given as more the attention that he deserves. But I still think that some fans are maybe a little bit, alright, okay, we've signed Doucouré as well, brilliant, but oh my god, it's James Rodriguez, oh my god, it's Alan. Let's not underestimate how important Abdoulaye Doucouré will be and can be to Everton Football Club going forward. He is exactly what we need in the centre of that midfield. He is a unit, he is big, he is strong, he is physical, he is demanding on the ball, he isn't going to shy away from a challenge, he isn't going to, move away from the ball and say, don't pass to me, pass to him. He's going to come towards the ball. He'll have Alan next to him, who is that sort of player that'll throw a tackle in, and that'll be a little bit snide, and that'll make sure he's there. He's got the creativity, and James next to him as well, Richarlison, Calvert-Lewin, whoever plays around him, but he is that central focal point in the centre of the midfield, and he has been for Watford for years and years and years, and that is why Everton wanted him 12 months ago, and unfortunately we couldn't bring him in, and now, Carlo Ancelotti's come in and he's obviously identified Abdoulaye Doucouré as a player that massively improved Everton Football Club, and I couldn't agree more with Carlo Ancelotti. I think he's a fantastic signing. Like I said, Premier League experience, so he knows what it's like to play in this league, he knows the tempo of it, he knows how strong he needs to be, he knows how physical he needs to be, and again, his attitude is that of a player that's saying, I am going to give 110%, I am going to give my absolute all. He says it's a step up in his career. Again, we spoke months ago about how we need to bring in players that are looking to step up their career, are looking to improve, not necessarily players that are looking down going, right, okay, I'll get 120k a week if I go to Everton, and then, let's be honest, I won't have to do much, I'll waltz around, I'll be injured after season, that's it. We need players that are coming to Everton going, right, either this is a big opportunity for me to step my career up, or this is a fresh start for me to get going and to show exactly what I can do. And I think we've seen that in all three players, especially Abdoulaye Doucouré. So just some of his stats then, and I think are really, really interesting. In the 2019-20 season, the season just passed, Abdoulaye Doucouré played 37 games, or featured in 37 games for Watford, scored 4 goals and got 2 assists. The season prior to that, which was the season that we massively impressed, and the summer that we actually wanted him prior to last season, the 2018-19 season, 35 games, 5 goals, 6 assists, and the season prior to that, in the 17-18 season, 37 games, 7 goals and 4 assists. So he's a player that contributes not only in terms of that physicality and that demand and presence on the pitch, but he also contributes with goals and assists, which is exactly what we're lacking in the centre of that midfield. You compare that to any of our midfielders, none of our central midfielders got 4 goals last season. I think Gylfi Sigurdsson got 3 potentially, and he was the max, and I think 2 of them were from set pieces. The free kick and the penalty and the goal against West Ham. I think his goal against West Ham was his only outfield goal last season. So Abdoulaye Doucouré, who plays in a little bit of a deeper role and who isn't that creative number 10, if you like, as that Gylfi Sigurdsson is or was, he scored more goals than he did last season. He's had more of an impact than any of our midfielders the season before. 5 goals, 6 assists, 7 goals, 4 assists the season prior to that as well. So he's a player that contributes, and that's exactly what we need in that central midfielders. Not only players that can do their job, because it's fantastic having somebody like an Andre Gomes who is brilliant when he's got somebody next to him who'll run around and he'll do the dog work, because Andre Gomes is a very good technical footballer. He's good with the ball at his feet, he can move it, his passing range is very, very good, he is good on the ball. But the reality of the situation with Andre Gomes is he does not contribute enough, whether it be goals, whether it be assists. He just does not contribute enough, and I don't know whether that's because he hasn't got the players next to him to allow him to contribute. I don't know whether it's because he doesn't get forward enough because of instructions. I don't know. But the reality of the situation is, whether it be Gomes, whether it be Sigurdsson last season, whether it be Delph, whether it be Davis, whether it be Gabamon, who, to be fair, hasn't played an awful lot, but we'll throw him in there as well. Whoever it may be in the centre of that midfield for Everton Football Club, they do not contribute anywhere near enough as to what they need to contribute. They just don't. And Abdoulaye Doucouré is a player that will. Yes, 4 goals and 2 assists isn't a massive amount, but it's more than what we've got currently. And let's not forget, that's not his job. If we were bringing in a number 10 or a striker who'd scored 4 goals and only got 2 assists, then you'd be slightly worried. But Abdoulaye Doucouré's job isn't to score or assist, but this shows that he gets involved with that when he needs to as well. We've seen Abdoulaye Doucouré score some fantastic goals in recent years. There was one last season where he took the ball from the halfway line, he just bulldozed past everyone and he smashed it into the top bins. There was a goal that Troy Deeney scored last season. I can't remember who it was against, but Abdoulaye Doucouré played one of the best passes I'd seen in the entirety of last season in order for for Troy Deeney to score that goal. So he's very, very good on the ball. Technically, he's very, very good. He can find a pass. He can rifle a ball into the roof of the net from 30 yards. He's very, very good at doing that. But again, like I said, that's not his primary position. That's not primary what he does. He sits in that midfield. He's a dominant force. He's big. He's tall. He's physical. He gets about the pitch, and he breaks up the play in that midfield. And he is a presence. And if there's anything that Everton have been missing in the last 12, 18 months, for as long as we can remember, really, certainly in previous years, is a presence in that midfield. It's fantastic having Andre Gomes there. Like I said, Idrissa Gana Gueye was probably the last player that we had in that midfield that you sort of thought, right, okay, him and Gomez work together and they have that presence. But again, Marouane Fellaini was very, very similar. When Marouane Fellaini was in that midfield for Everton Football Club, other players on opposition teams would look and go, right, I don't really want to jump up for a header against him. I don't really want to get into a physical battle with him because I'm just gonna get knocked off the park all day long. So they had to try and play around him. Now Abdoulaye Doucoure can do the playing bit. He can play around people. He's very good with his feet. He's very good technically. But he is also that physical presence that other midfielders will look at and they'll go, I don't really want that. I don't want that battle. I don't want to fight with him. I don't want to get involved with him. I don't want to be physical with him. And that's exactly what we need for far too long. And it was shown in the last 9 games of the Premier League season. Far too many teams. Southampton done it. Aston Villa done it. Wolves done it. Far too many teams played Everton. And within the first 5 or 10 minutes of the game, they realised these have got no midfield here. There's no midfield presence. There's no flow in the midfield. There's nobody that picks the game up and grabs the game by the scruff of the neck and goes, right, okay, I'm gonna take this game forward. I'm gonna push this game forward and I'm gonna take it into my own hands. There was none of that. There was no presence. Abdoulaye Doucoure provides that presence to Everton Football Club. And like I said, for me, out of all 3 signings, don't get me wrong, I've been excited by all 3 signings for various different reasons, but Abdoulaye Doucoure is the one that I look at and I think he could really, 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 really sort of regenerate Everton Football Club in terms of having that Premier League experience, knowing what his job is, knowing what his role is, knowing what he needs to do, and being able to step in and do that. And like I said, the attitude of the player is absolutely fantastic as well. You can't fault it. For me, any player that comes into Everton and says, as soon as Everton Football Club were involved, I didn't want to look anywhere else. I didn't want to move to anywhere else. It was just Everton. I've got so much respect for it. And like I said, it's fantastic to have him at the football club. We'll dive into the live comments then. Michael O'Hagan says, do you think we'll see them play on Sunday? I do think we'll see Abdoulaye Doucoure featured on Sunday. Obviously, having that Premier League experience, he won't need as much time to settle into the football club, although he was the last announced. I believe he was probably training in and around about the same amount of times as Allen and James. Do I think we'll see all 3 start on Sunday? I don't know. I don't know, to be perfectly honest with you, mate, because listen, it's going to be difficult. Because again, I don't think Carlo Ancelotti will want to throw all 3 in there and just say, right, okay, go and have the impact that we know you can have. But I do think we'll see all 3 feature at some point. We're doing a live game preview to the game against Spurs on Friday night, 5:15 PM. So don't forget to join us for that one. We'll give my predicted start 11. If you're not enjoying the team, by the way, so far, please do hit the like button. Really, really does mean a massive amount to me. Subscribe to the channel as well if you are new. It only takes a second. Share the video, share the live stream. Let's try and get as many people in here as possible. Can't remember if I shared the live stream, actually, to be honest with you. So let me just double check. Eugene says Zaha wants to join Everton. Well, there's been some rumours that Wilfried Zaha apparently is looking to join Everton Football Club and has told Crystal Palace that he wants to leave and he wants to be part of Carlo Ancelotti's project. I don't know how much I believe them, to be perfectly honest with you. I also don't know how much I'd want Wilfried Zaha. I think there's better players out there for cheaper with a lot more potential that we could go for. But it'll be interesting to see how that one how that one moved in the next sort of few weeks or so. Eugene also says Rodriguez explains his role in the team. There you go. Michael as... Oh, wait, we've written Michael, haven't we? Thank you very much, Michael, for the donation. Really, really appreciate it. It means a massive, massive, massive amount to me. It really, really does. James says, I wanted Allen in at all costs, but very happy with the other 2 as well, mate. Yeah, me too, mate, me too. Jason says, Doucoure has looked class in any game I've seen I've seen him against any team, always been a fan. Me too, mate. Dunring says, hello Cam from Newfoundland, Canada. Love the channel. Thank you very much, mate. Really, really do appreciate it. He said, lifelong blue and love listening to your commentary and insights. Thank you very much, mate. Really, really do appreciate it. It means a massive, massive amount to me. Dosp says, Doucouré seems chuffed to have completed this move. He certainly does. Blue Jay says, Doucouré is a unit. That's what we need in the midfield. We certainly do, mate. Sportbot says, where do you see Sigurdsson, Davis, Gomez, Gbamin playing? Choose anyone and why. I see Gomez still featuring quite frequently. Obviously with Gbamin, it's a case of getting him back to his fitness and then seeing where he is and you know, where he fits into the squad. Tom Davis, I don't think we'll see feature as much as what we have done, and I think Sigurdsson will probably still see feature as much, because ultimately he needs to either be sold or to have some form of future, or he's just an ultimate waste of money, and he's not going to get sold by not playing. I'm not saying he'll play every week, but I don't think he'll just be shunned completely out the squad, to be honest with you. Eugene says Everton closing on Tomori. Yes, we'll see, obviously. Jason says out the door. Eric says all gone except Gomez. Jason says Gbamin keep as well as Gomez. We don't really know much about Gbamin. That is true. Sam says what is inside scoops for you all. What's happening, Sam? Raul says James should wear the number 10. Well, we spoke about that briefly today on today's live stream. We spoke about James Rodriguez earlier on and the impact that he has on Everton Football Club, which is, you know, a really insightful live stream. If you haven't checked that out, please do check that out after this live stream. It would mean a massive amount to me. Listen, should he be given number 10? For marketing reasons, probably yes, because it would have been, you know, I don't know what the word is, but it would have looked nicer, wouldn't it? James 10. But he's been given number 19, which is a number that he has been associated with throughout his career. I think his first professional football club he wore number 19 at as well, which is obviously, it means something to him. But it doesn't really mean an awful lot, does it? Sam says Cameron's buying me bike with YouTube money after the stream. And Cam says, do you reckon we will get Zaha? Sorry, yeah, Cam says, do you reckon we will get Zaha? I don't, mate. I don't think we're in for him. I don't think we're in for him, personally. I think it's just a little bit of paper talk at the moment to try and rile up betting odds and all of the rest of it. But anyway, on to Doucouré. Again, massively linked with Abdoulaye Doucouré last season when Idrissa Gana Gueye left the football club. I think a lot of people thought he was a perfect sort of replacement for Idrissa Gana Gueye, like a player that gets about the pitch, a player that isn't afraid to do the dirty work, runs around, throws himself about, breaks up the play, and he is exactly that. But he is, for me, he's more technical than Idrissa Gana Gueye. He's better with the ball at his feet. He's got a better pass. Let's not listen to this. I love Idrissa Gana Gueye. I absolutely love him. And I'm not going to sit here and slag him off now that he's left Everton Football Club. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, he wasn't as good as what we thought he was, or this, that, the other. Idrissa Gana Gueye was more important to Everton Football Club than arguably any player has been in recent years. And we still, to this day, until, you know, I see Alan and Abdoulaye Doucouré and James Rodriguez play, we still to this day haven't seen an Everton player put that blue shirt on and play in a Premier League game and have the impact that Idrissa Gana Gueye had on Everton Football Club. He left a gargantuan hole in this team. But his passing wasn't the best. He himself didn't contribute with an awful lot of goals. He wasn't on the score sheet often. He might have got 1 or 2 a season, but he wasn't on the score sheet very often. He wasn't getting involved with the assists as much as we probably would have liked. Again, like I said, as long range passing, he wouldn't necessarily find that cutthroat pass. He was good with picking the ball up, moving it, and that's exactly what we needed and still need in this team at the moment, is somebody that just picks the ball up and moves it. Simple pass, play, give and move. That's exactly what we need and what we needed at the time, and that's why he works so well. But all of the other technical sort of bits and bobs, he wasn't unbelievable at. Whereas Abdoulaye Doucouré has shown in his, you know, last 2 or 3 seasons at Watford that he is good at doing the technical bits. He can pick the ball up, run with it and rifle one in the top corner. He can play a pass from 25-30 yards and find the feet of the striker. He can do all of that, as well as the physical side of being that dominant force in the centre of the park, getting around the pitch, breaking the play up, moving the ball around, the nice 5-10 yard passes. He can do all of that as well, but he's also got the technical ability to do that little bit more and contribute with those goals and contribute with those assists and break the play up in a way that, you know, benefits us going forward, rather than just breaking it up and giving it to a Sigurdsson or a Gomez. Abdoulaye Doucouré can do all of that on his own, and that's why I think he's arguably a better signing than Idrissa Gana Gueye was. And of course, that's difficult to say because we haven't seen him play for Everton Football Club yet. And again, like I said, for me, Idrissa Gana Gueye is one of the best players I've seen in an Everton shirt for a long time, and we still are missing a Doucoure, and like I said, until we see Allen and Doucoure playing in an Everton shirt, we still haven't replaced, and until we see Gbamin in any real sort of capacity, we still haven't replaced Doucoure. However, I think when you look at players to bring into this current club and this current setup, that would improve us and that would give us that little bit more than a Doucoure could give us. I really think that, you know, I really think that Abdoulaye Doucoure is a perfect player to do that. On top of that, like I said, the attitude of him wanting to come to the football club and showing so much that he wants to sign is fantastic. And ultimately, listen, he impacts Everton as much as Allen does. He impacts Everton as much as James Rodriguez does, and he improves Everton as much as either of those two players as well. He's got the Premier League experience. He knows what the league's like. He knows the physicality. He knows the levels of the league. He knows where he needs to be. So don't be surprised if Abdoulaye Doucoure starts on Sunday and Allen and James Rodriguez only make the bench. Don't be surprised if Abdoulaye Doucoure is the player out of the three signings that we see 35, 36, 37 games next season, and he's there consistently because, like I said, he's got all of that in his locker. With Allen, he'll have to get used to the league. He'll have to get used to seeing what he can get away with, what he can't get away with. Listen, Andre Mariner's on VAR on Sunday and Martin Atkinson's the referee, so Allen needs to be quite careful if he's playing, really, because he's probably not going to get away with half the challenges either got away with in Italy, because as soon as Martin Atkinson sees any opportunity to send an Everton player off, he'll do it, because he's an absolute bellend. But Abdoulaye Doucoure will obviously already know that. He's got that experience. Same with James. James will have to sort of feed his way into the league as well. Not saying that we'll only see Doucoure on Sunday and we won't see Allen or James Rodriguez. I think we'll see all three of them in some capacity, but don't be surprised, like I said, if Doucoure is that consistent performer week in, week out next season. I think it's a fantastic signing for Everton Football Club. I really do. And I'm absolutely made up that we pursued the signing as well. I'm absolutely made up that even when we brought Allen in, who was clear as a centre midfielder and is going to be playing week in, week out ideally next season, even when we're in talks to bring James in, who again is another centre midfielder who will want to be playing constantly next season, we still pursue bringing in Abdoulaye Doucoure because of the impact we know we can have on this team. If you're enjoying the live stream, by the way, please do hit the like button. Let me know your thoughts on Doucoure coming in the live comments as well. We will be getting involved in them in just a second. Share the stream. Let's get as many people in here as possible. If you haven't already, please do subscribe. It only does take a second. Alex says, yes, Cam. Yes, mate, hope you're doing well. Sam says he's a load of shit. I assume you're talking about Wilfred Zaha there. Ewan says, watch, James ready to spread inborn winning mentality to Everton website. Well, yeah, we spoke about James Rodriguez earlier on today, and how he won 9 major honours at Real Madrid. His career is absolutely admirable. He's won pretty much everything there is to win at the highest level. So when a player like that comes in and says, I know how to win trophies, I've been there, and I want to bring that to this football club, and he's got a manager saying, I know how to win trophies, I've been there, and I want to bring that to Everton Football Club, that puts us in a better situation to be in and around, mixing it with the top clubs and winning those trophies than any situation we've been in previous years. Sam says, hope everyone's dropped a like here. Me too, mate. If you haven't already, please do hit the like button. It does mean a massive amount to me. James says, I'd have Zaha. Missed out on Thiago Silva, but a very happy blue. Can't wait for Sunday, mate. I can't wait for Sunday now. I absolutely can't. Listen, I wouldn't say I wasn't looking forward to it, but prior to us bringing in the 3 players, I was sort of like, right, okay, Tottenham, first game of the season. It's not a great game to start the season off. They're a tough team. We notoriously don't do very well away from home against Tottenham. It's not one that you think, right, okay, I can't wait for, Everton are definitely going to go out and win. Not that we think that about any Everton game, but now I'm like, I can't wait to see James. I can't wait to see Allen. I can't wait to see Doucoure. I can't wait to see how this side plays. I can't wait to see a full season under Carlo Ancelotti being the Everton manager. I just cannot wait for it. Sam says it's like we need a spark. We do. Ethan says we always needed a big brick shit out in the midfield. Happy we've got Doucoure. You're spot on. Sam also says Zaha will be a good addition if he's performed. His stats are poo in the last season. Yeah, again, I think Wilfred Zaha is sort of having that little bit of... I think he's in that sort of situation at the moment where he wants to leave Crystal Palace. I think he wants to leave Crystal Palace last summer, to be honest, when we were heavily linked with him. But he stayed because Crystal Palace couldn't find an agreement with any club for him, and he had a lot of respect for the club, so he said, you know what, I'll do another year. But I think he played pretty much the entirety of last season, knowing that he hasn't got a future at Crystal Palace, knowing that he wasn't going to be there for very long, knowing that he didn't really want to be there. And we've seen that with a lot of players. We've seen a lot of players just sort of come to the end of their career at a football club and tail off in the last 6 to 12 months or so, and then join another football club and be completely, rejuvenated. Wilfried Zaha, I think he had 10 goals and 10 assists in his previous season, not the one just gone, the season prior when we were linked with him last summer, which would have been a fantastic signing, and of course it would have massively improved Everton again. That type of return, those type of returns from the wing is something that we just don't have at Everton at the moment. Obviously 4 goals and 4 assists last season really aren't worth the 70-80 million pound price tag that he's being touted as. Do I think Everton will go back in for him? I don't. I just think Everton will be looking at other options. I think Everton will be looking at cheaper options, but I do think that Wilfried Zaha wants to join Everton Football Club. The rumour today has been that Zaha has told his friends that he wants to leave Crystal Palace and that he wants to join Everton. It's not really that Everton are interested in him, or that Everton will bid for him, or that Everton are wanting to sign him. It's that the player wants to come to Everton. Now, I would not be opposed. I would not be surprised if that's true, to be perfectly honest with you. I bet you there's loads of footballers on the planet who want to come and play under Carlo Ancelotti. I bet you there's loads of footballers on the planet who want to turn up to training every day and their teammate be James Rodriguez. I bet you there's loads of players in the Premier League who would love to sign for Everton Football Club at the moment, and that was the rumour that's come out today, is Wilfried Zaha apparently telling Crystal Palace that he wants to join Everton and he wants to be part of Carlo Ancelotti's project. I'm sure he does. I'm sure a lot of players do. That's one thing that, again, I'm not convinced that Everton are interested in him. I don't think we'll sign him. I don't think we'll spend that much money. What I do think is that Wilfried Zaha wants to join Everton Football Club, because why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't he want to come and join Everton? Ethan says Palace would try and get like 50 million for him as well. Yeah, he's not worth that. He's not worth that. Sam says, yeah, they would try and milk it, like we should go abroad for someone. We'll get them cheaper. No one's going to want to help us build a good squad. Will be a threat soon. Exactly spot on. And we could get, Ismaila Sarr from Watford for arguably cheaper, who's a lot younger, a lot more potential, and had better stats than Wilfried Zaha last season, and performed a lot better consistently last season. Again, look, Marcel Brands has done an unbelievable job in all 3 signings, really. Alan, James Rodriguez and Abdoulaye Doucoure, in regards to, Watford, again, notoriously not very easy to deal with. They don't, they're not massive fans of Everton, obviously, because of the Silva situation and Richarlison, so they don't like dealing with Everton Football Club. Real Madrid are very, very difficult, notoriously, to deal with. We managed to get the James Rodriguez deal down to around about £12 million, may even have been cheaper. And Alan from Napoli, Napoli's president, come out literally 48 hours before Alan had signed for Everton and said, we will not be budged, we will not, we have impenetrable armour, and teams will pay what we want. And then Everton, paid £10 million less than what they wanted for Alan, and he was announced 48 hours later. So Marcel Brands has done a fantastic job in regards to the signing so far. Do I think that we'll be able to get Wilfried Zaha down to a fee that would be sensible? I'm not sure. Ethan says, yeah, as Cam said, there's better players we can get for cheaper, the likes of Lozano, but I'm sure I would still want him. Listen, if he signed, I wouldn't be massively opposed if it was the right amount of money, because I think he's definitely got a lot of talent, and he's definitely shown in previous years that he's got a lot of talent, and that he could, improve Everton Football Club. But the transfer fee that's being thrown about is utterly ridiculous. It is. Carl says, hello Cam, I think Palace will go down if Zaha leaves. I wouldn't be surprised, mate. Ewan says, prediction for the Tottenham versus Everton game on Sunday afternoon. I think it'll be Everton 3, Tottenham 1. I hope so, mate. Sam says, we could do with a winger, like I'd have him any day. I'd just sign an attacking midfielder as well in a perfect world. Listen, I think a winger is probably the next position that we need to focus on. If I'm being completely honest, I think full-back, again, right-back, left-back, I think right-back is probably a necessity as well. Wingers a necessity, and then, potentially goalkeeper, depending on how well Jordan Pickford plays this season. Blue says, not had a ball carrying midfielder since Barkley. You're spot on. Sam says, Ancelotti knows what he needs, though. He knows the real holes in the squad. Yeah, you're spot on. James says, Alan won't be on the bench for me. Alan won't be on the bench for me. Get a Tottenham, they'll crumble. Fair enough. So you don't think Alan will feature at all? Ethan said Ancelotti said Alan's ready to start. He is. I think they're all ready to start, but it's whether he'll start with all three. James has hit the like button. If you could hit the like button, it would mean a massive, massive amount to me. I really, really do appreciate all of the support. Women says YouTube with no notifications again. I'm not too sure what they're playing at, mate. I'm not too sure what they're playing at. Cam says score prediction for Sunday. I'm not going to give it in this live stream, but we will be live at 5:15 on Friday afternoon, Friday night, whatever you want to call it, and we'll be doing our live game preview to the Spurs game on Sunday, where we'll give my predicted starting 11, we'll give my score prediction and all of that good stuff. Sam says I was talking about Zaha and being wholesome and interacting with me fellow Blues. Spot on, Sam. Raymond says, how are you doing, Cam lad? Did you have a good holiday? Because not being funny, your hotel room looked like the back of a car. That video was filmed in the back of a car, quite ironically, but no, it was brilliant, mate. I had a brilliant time. It was great to get away and get some sun and some relaxation. It was brilliant. I'm not doing too bad as well. We're doing well. Joe says Spurs are one of the better teams we can face, and it gives us an indication whether we can break into that top 6 or not. Well, again, it's a good opportunity for us to go out there and prove ourselves on the opening game of the season against a good side that will be in and around fighting for European football. You know, there's no excuses for Everton Football Club on Sunday. There's no excuses for Carlo Ancelotti and the players, because Tottenham are starting in the same vein as Everton are starting. First game of the season, no form. You know, Everton have probably had the best of the transfer window of the two clubs so far. So we have to turn up and we have to show that we can mix it with those type of teams. We have to turn up and we have to show a bit of backbone and we have to show a bit of fight. And I honestly think we will do that with the signings that we've made and the impact that those players will have if they are ready to play and feature on Sunday. I honestly think we will do that. Whamey says, get Florenzi and a pacey winger like Lozano or Bailey. Bailey, and we have a fair chance of 7th with Tomori loan. Well, we'll have to see what happens in the transfer window, of course. Michael says Tomori loan most likely be Arias at right back, Bailey and Lozano for me. Ideally, who would be a perfect winger for Everton to play around DCL, Richarlison and James. Probably Lozano, to be perfectly honest with you, or Leon Bailey. I still really, really want David Neres. I know we're not interested in him, and I know we're probably not going to sign him, but I still really, really want David Neres. Hernandez says, does Brands get a contract extension after this window? We was getting a lot of stick prior to the summer. Keep saying that we got Rodriguez for free. If that's true, that's a masterclass transfer. I think he'll get a contract extension anyway, to be honest with you, regardless of the stick that some fans give him, regardless of the transfer window. I think he was going to get a contract extension anyway. It's very, very difficult to turn a club around in 3 years, which was what his initial contract was. Certainly, given the fact that we've had 2 managers in that period of time, and now, so that our manager is Carlo Ancelotti and one of the best in world football, I think Brands is in for a contract extension, if I'm being honest with you. Ballbot says, look at the bright side of Silva that they've gotten Zaha, we would have not gotten Ancelotti and Rodriguez. Very, very fair point. Very, very fair point. So anyway, back onto the topic. Abdoulaye Doucouré again. Really, really excited to have Doucouré at Everton Football Club. Out of the 3 players, I do think that he was probably he was the one that people were less excited about, if you like, or there wasn't as much hype around him. But he's arguably the one that has the most impact, to be perfectly honest with you, because of that Premier League experience, because of that, you know, that physicality in the midfield, that dominance, the fact that he chips in with goals, even, you know, though he doesn't play in a position that he necessarily has to do that. I think he's going to have a massive, massive impact on Everton Football Club, and I cannot wait to see him get started. I do think he'll play on Sunday. Do I think he'll start? I'm going to go out and say yes. I do think all 3 signings will feature on Sunday, but I think Abdoulaye Doucouré will start, and I cannot wait to see him play. I think he's a fantastic player, really, really good midfielder, strong in the centre of the park, and massively, massively improves us. And of course, like we mentioned before, the attitude of the player wanting to come to Everton, only wanting to play for Everton, telling his agent he doesn't want to play for anybody else, only Everton Football Club, is very, very admirable, and I'm absolutely made up to have him. James says, I think he said Hammers then, James says maybe a loan Zaha option to buy. I don't think they'd take a loan. James says Carlo got the players in, making Brands look good. Well, Carlo doesn't do the negotiations. Carlo might say, listen, I want Hammers, I want Allen, I want Doucouré, but he doesn't do the negotiations for how much those players cost or the wages for those players, etc. That's all, you know, Brands and you know, the other scouting side. So, you know, Brands has got a lot of credit, deserves a lot of credit for me. Jason says, Balassi and Zaha used to play wonders for Palace. Both could be reunited, potentially. Spellbotch says, Watford won't give their best player. Well, they did, mate. They did. Twice. William says, I was concerned over the age of the transfers. The Allen and Hammers deals are good business. Not sure on Doucouré. 15 would still have been great, but we shall see. I think he'll be a fantastic signing, personally, I do, but you're right, we will see. Hernandez says, spoiling us with 2 live streams in a day. Keep up the great work, Cam. Thank you very much, mate. Really do appreciate it. Cheese and Cheese says, why are there so many shouts about changing formation? We have a side partnership with 30 goals. Doucouré and Allen in the midfield. Hammers on the right, cutting in a fullback overlapping. There you go. That just shows how a 4-4-2 could work. I think... Sorry, I think one of the important things to note with the new signings is that Carlo Ancelotti is now bringing in players that can play in different positions, bringing in players that are flexible, bringing in players that aren't only stuck to one singular position, can play in different parts of the pitch and in different formations, which is something that, again, we just haven't had at the football club recently. We haven't had enough players that are versatile. We haven't had enough players that can move around the pitch. We haven't had enough players that can play in different positions, and that's massively important that the players coming into the football club can do that. James says they got relegated, they need the cash. Cam says, yeah, the price for Zaha would be too much. We said this about, but would be too much. But we said this about Richarlison. Yeah, but Richarlison was a lot younger, a lot more potential. Zaha is, nearly 30 years old. Again, would cost an awful lot of money, more than what Richarlison was going to cost. Cost. But says, do you think Calvert-Lewin or Richarlison will get 20 goals? Yeah, I do. I think Richarlison will break 20 next season. I think Calvert-Lewin with the right service can as well. James says, with Hammers, they should. Wayne says, you don't need to be Ancelotti to see the holes in the squad. James says, Dean can get forward now. What a left foot. Ewan says, do you think Everton will finish in Europe next season? I'm not gonna say that yet. It's very very early to be saying shouts like that, but there's a possibility. Cam says, want to see Moiskin a lot this season. Me too, mate. Me too. He played quite well for Italy the other day, to be perfectly honest with you. James says, if players stay fifth is possible for me. Why not? Carl says, do you think Alan St. Maximin would be good for us? He looks like a good young quick winger. I just don't know whether he's got enough end product for me at the moment, to be very honest. He is a good winger, he is good, and he's got a lot of pace, you're spot on, but I just don't know whether his end product quite suits us at the moment. Cheese and Jesus, I'm the most confident for Doucouré, has the experience and fitness for the Prem. We know he plays and how well he plays. He will have an instant impact. Immediate impact, as he doesn't need to adapt. Spot on, mate, I completely agree. William says, even if we spend 100 million, it will be spread. Will probably only be about 20 million a year. Very, very good point. Very good point. Jen says, is there any truth with Walcott and Delta Leeds? I hope it's true. If there is, sell them, mate. Sell them, make a little bit of money back. Balance the books financial fair play wise. But I'm not convinced it's completely true. I think the Delph rumours are a little bit more true than the Walcott ones. But again, we'll just have to wait and see, mate. Sportbot says, our top target this season was Alan St. Maximum. I'm not too sure about that, mate. Wim says, I don't think so. Plus, if Dortmund are looking at your young player, don't sell them. Think it'll be different season for Moyes. Now we have actually a midfield. You spot on, mate. And Stu says, Carlo would always change the DMs. Selfless Pro, Alan, Doucouré, Hammers, Bernard, Richarlison, flanking Calvert-Lewin, because those wingers are best suited linking with Rodriguez. There you go. Absolutely spot on. It gives us options. All three signings give us options, and that's exactly what we need going into next season. Anyway, that's going to do it for today's live stream. If you have enjoyed, please do hit that like button. It does only take a second. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe as well. Really do appreciate all the support. Like I said, I've already had a couple of videos out today. Earlier on today, this morning, we've done a game review to the Preston game. Again, I know it's about 4 or 5 days late, but I've done a preview to it, so I just wanted to keep a little bit of continuity there and give my opinions on the final pre-season game. We spoke about young goalkeeper Harry Tyrer, we spoke about Niles Nkunku, we spoke about Mason Holgate's injury in that video as well, so don't forget to check that out. We also done a live stream earlier on talking about what James Rodriguez will bring to Everton Football Club, so if you haven't checked that out, please do so. We speak about the commercial side of things, and obviously the billboards in New York City and Miami and in the capital of Colombia and all of that sort of stuff, as well as what he'll bring on the pitch and some of his stats and how important he could be to Carlo Ancelotti's Everton side. If you have enjoyed the stream, please do hit the like button. It does mean a massive amount to me. We'll be back 5:15 PM on Friday to discuss the opening Premier League game of the season, Everton's opening Premier League game of the season against Tottenham Hotspur on Sunday. That'll be live at 5:15 PM. We'll be giving my predicted starting 11, my score predictions, all of that good stuff, and we'll be finding out whether I believe Abdoulaye, Doucouré, Alan and James Rodriguez will all feature, or maybe potentially all start in that game. So don't forget to join us for that one. Wayne says, take care, guys. Thank you very much. Eugene says, see you about the toffees. See you on Friday evening. Thanks very much. Cam says, up the Ev indeed. Sam says, peace out, Blues. Stay safe. Thank you very much, Sam. Stay safe, everybody. Big thanks for watching. See you in a minute, Sam, as well. Big thanks for watching. Please do hit that like button if you have enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Like I said, we'll be back Friday live, 5:15 PM. for another live stream. We'll be doing the preview to the Spurs game. Big thanks for watching. Leave a like if you've enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and we'll see you soon on the Mighty Blues.